Let me show you how we recently scaled this Shopify store to $142,000 in 30 days. What's poppin', people? It's your boy the Beast of Ecom, and I am back with another video dropping nothing but you already know, value bombs. So in today's value packed video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you guys how exactly I scaled a Shopify store to $142,000 in just 30 days. Now this was done recently, and in the video what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you inside the Shopify store and I'm going to take you inside the ad accounts as well, just so that you can see the numbers, the profit. Now this video is going to be more focused on Facebook ads and how I'm using Facebook ads to do the testing, do the creative testing, the retargeting, the scaling, and all those kind of things. Also, I'm going to be doing a giveaway on this video. I know I've mentioned that I am putting together a free ebook, but I've recently received the paper copy of that book, and I'm going to be giving away a copy of this book at the end of this video. So if you want to be in with a chance, then make sure you stay to the end of the video. Okay, so let's jump straight into the Shopify store, and then we'll talk Facebook adverts, and then we'll talk strategy as well. Now, if you are not subscribed to the channel, make sure of course you subscribe, okay, with the notification bell on, so that you stay up to date with all of my latest content. And of course, make sure you drop a like on this video, because I can guarantee that you will get some value from it, and it helps it in the algorithm and all of that sort of jazz. Okay, so as you can see here, from the 10th to the 10th, we've done $115,000, and it's just been steadily creeping up day over day over day over day. I'm going to explain the kind of Facebook ad strategy behind this and how it's been scaling in a second, okay? But what I'll do, of course, is I'll refresh, because, you know, there's always, I don't know why, but there's always still haters out there who will say stuff's fake and all that sort of jazz. But as you can see, numbers are exactly the same, okay? Now, revenue like this is all well and good if you don't show the ad spend. So I'm going to show you the two main ad accounts that we use, okay? And you can see, of course, again, the same 10th to the 10th. And what I'll do is I'll just refresh this, okay, just so you can see. Exactly the same. And what is that there? We've got 216, okay, ROAS. And I'll show you the break-even ROAS for these products as well, the two main products. But I'll show you the break-even ROAS because we're sitting at around about over 30% profit on this, on these numbers, okay, at this ROAS. So that's one account. And again, I'll show you the other account, the exact same dates. Let me just refresh. You can see, again, the numbers are exactly the same. If I just scroll across, just so you can see, 2.2x ROAS, okay? So again, nothing fake here. I'll refresh again just so you can see. There we go. Numbers haven't changed whatsoever. So now that you can see that the numbers are all there, let's actually talk about how I've been using Facebook ads to generate these numbers. Okay, so $142,000 in 30 days dropshipping. Now, one of the biggest bottlenecks that we've had with this store, I'm sure a lot of dropshippers will know exactly what I'm talking about. Getting stock and shipping at the moment in time is a nightmare. As much as we want to scale higher than this, at the moment in time, shipping prices are just going through the roof at the moment in time, especially if you're drop shipping from China. And of course, stock as well is a little bit of an issue. So that's been one of the biggest bottlenecks in scaling this further, okay? So as I mentioned before, the break-even ROAS for the two main winning products, we've got a break-even ROAS of 1.44, and you can see that 30% profit margin is if we were sitting at around 2x. And you can see we were obviously above that. And the other products here, we've got a break-even ROAS of 1.34. And again, if we were sitting higher than 1.19, then we're above 30%. So on the numbers, as you can see, we were sitting way above 30% profit, okay? This is a calculator that I personally use and that my students use. I don't let it out. It's only for course members, but you can pretty much make something like this yourself. It's not extremely hard to do so, okay? Now this is the overview, okay? So I'm going to give you the overview and kind of break down the Facebook ad strategy and how everything is kind of all working in place. So first and foremost, ABO, ad set budgets. ad set budgets optimization, but ad set budgets basically. What I'm genuinely using is ad set budgets to test, okay? Creative, which is creative testing. So I like to do CBO creative testing, right? And then we've got CBO, which is of course, CBO to get scale. Now, recently, if you didn't know, Facebook were pushing towards the mandatory use of CBOs. However, from people who I network with, and they've recently said that they're not going to push for mandatory CBOs anymore, which is obviously fantastic because I personally like to use ad set budgets to test. But yeah, supposedly, again, Facebook are not pushing towards mandatory CBO anymore. But who knows? It's Facebook. Anything can pretty much happen. Now, this is the process that I'm generally going through, okay, when it comes to 2020, and forwards. So you can see here, first and foremost is testing audiences. And what I like to do, of course, is the standard usual testing method, just test to find winning audiences. That's all I really want to do at this stage, is just to find winning audiences with the initial creatives that I start out with. Then once I've got some sales, okay, I like to then build out retargeting campaigns. I don't like to start off retargeting campaigns straight from the off, just in case, we don't get any sales or anything like that. It's just going to be a waste of my time, right? So I like to get the initial traction, then build out the retargeting campaigns, the middle of funnel and bottom of funnel, okay? And we'll talk about those in a moment. Then what I like to do, of course, is we've only got these initial creatives here. But then before I like to move into lookalike audiences and scaling further, I like to set up a CBO to test different creatives. Because if you're only relying on just one creative, then it's not going to be enough and you'll probably just get burnt out with your Facebook ads, okay? And that's generally what happens. People have initial success and then when they come to scale, they scale for like a week or so and then things just fall off a cliff, right? It's because you've not got enough creatives in there. Then, of course, I like to move to use of lookalike audiences, okay? Testing out lookalike audiences to identify more audiences and then scaling with CBOs. And at the end of, obviously, CBOs as well, here we're using very broad audiences, no targeting whatsoever, and those kind of things, just so that we can get quite a bit of scale, okay? Now, to break things down a little bit further, and of course, by the way, if you do want to get access to, if you do want me to send you this book, okay, of my new book that's coming out, then make sure you stay to the end to find out exactly how you can win. But let's jump straight into this, okay? So the testing, which is top of the funnel, if you don't know what TOF stands for, it means top of the funnel, okay? So first and foremost, what I always like to do is test out 8 to 10 audiences with 2 to 3 initial creatives, okay? This is just a test, that's all it is. It's casting the, the rod into the pond just to see if anything bites, right? What you always want to do, of course, as well, is exclude out your view contents, add to carts, purchases, and page engages if you want to target just ice cold audiences. That way, everyone who sees the ad hasn't been to your website, okay? They haven't engaged with your page. They haven't seen anything from you whatsoever, right? That's why we always exclude those out. The goal in this section here is pretty much just to find winning audiences and find an initial creative that we can use to either scale with or test further, right? That's just the first stage of testing. Next, what I like to do is some creative testing, okay, as I mentioned. And again, this is still top of the funnel, all right? So we're still excluding out those audiences. Now, what I generally do is take the best or second best audience from that initial campaign, and I like to create a CBO and test out new creatives. Now, what you want to do is you want to take your best creative, okay, whichever it is that you've identified from this testing phase, then make iterations based on that first round creative. So to explain this a little bit further, let's say, for example, you test out, you've got 2 creatives and, only one of them is showing promise. What we would then do is create a CBO, okay, take that one and then just make iterations based off that. So we may just change out the ad copy. We may change out the thumbnails. We may change out the video, but only change the first 3 seconds. What we want to be doing is in the first round of initial CBO creative testing, we just want to make some iterations based on that first creative that was showing promise, okay? Then what you want to do is just leave it for 4 days. Now, the goal in this section, okay, is to find new creatives you can use in your main campaigns. There's never no such thing as having too many creatives. The more winning creatives you have, the better, okay? Now, retargeting and middle of funnel and bottom of funnel, that's what MOF and BOF stands for, okay? I personally like to use CBOs for retargeting. It's a switch that I've made, and personally I feel that they let me get more spend, okay, and consistency across, because Facebook will allocate, you know, more spend to say your view contents, and then on one day and then on the other day it may find more opportunities with your you know, page engagers didn't view content. So I generally find that when it comes to scaling retargeting, I personally find that using CBOs allows you for more scale. Of course, they bring in most of the time the best ROAS, right? Now, personally, you want to break these down into two CBOs. One includes just your view contents, no add to carts, page engagers, no view contents, 50% video views, no view contents. And then the second CBO will include generally just your add to cart, no purchases. Okay, now each audience will be obviously a different ad set. I don't group them together. You want to find out which one is doing the best. And at these, still at ad set level, you want to have at least 4 to 5 different creatives. Never rely on just one creative in your retargeting. You know, you always want to be having different ones, talking about different things, testimonials, discounts, whatever it may be. And as I've put down here, the goal is to educate, okay, about the product, okay, that you're selling. Educate the product, educate the customer, sorry, about the product, or have some sort of social proof, or of course just push a discount, because most people will just be like, nah, I ain't buying that, it's too expensive. So if you can offer them a discount, then 9 times out of 10 you'll probably win the sale. Okay, now when it comes to scaling, honestly, scaling at the moment in time, guys, the hardest part is getting to a point where you can scale. I'm finding that scaling is not that difficult once everything is in place. The hardest part with Facebook and cracking Facebook in 2020 is making sure that you've got winning creatives and winning audiences. Everything else in terms of, you know, targeting and raising budgets and, you know, all these manual bidding and all these kind of complicated things are just generally not necessary. Personally, I think that Facebook is stripping all these down, all of these, you know, complicated methods, and just really just setting up CBOs which have proven audiences, proven creatives, and increasing budgets is working the best. Okay, so generally really simple, honestly. Taking the 3 or 5 interests and creatives and putting them into a CBO. Now, your budget will very much vary based on the performance of each ad set at the initial stage. So, you know, if you've got some which are 4 or 5x in, you may want to you know, start off your CBO with more budget, higher budget. If they're 2x in, 3x in, you know, you might want to drop it down a little bit. But as a kind of rule of thumb, you can have 1 to 2 times per creative, okay? So what I mean by that, let's say, for example, we've got our cost per purchase. Sorry, I should have put cost per purchase in there, by the way. But to explain it further, I mean, if your cost per purchase, okay, is $15, right? So you'd have 15 times 3, okay, because we've got 3 creatives per ad set. Let's say we've got 5 ad sets, then your CBO budget would be 225, okay? Hopefully that makes a little bit of sense there. In terms of scaling CBOs, honestly, there's only really 2 ways, but I'm personally finding that increasing CBOs by 20 to 30% every 4 to 5 days is generally working well. I used to increase CBOs like every 2 days, but you know, Facebook got very much, you know, you'd increase it and then things would just drop down. But I'm finding the longer that you leave things and then increase incremental changes, it's a slower cook way of scaling, but it generally works, right? Another way, if you want to get more scale, then of course is to duplicate different duplicate to different ad accounts and business managers if needed. So taking your best audiences, best you know, CBOs and those things, and then just putting them inside a new ad account. Okay. Now, if you haven't seen this, I'm sure this was doing the rounds on Facebook, the Chad broad targeting letter rip style method. But honestly, broad targeting, once you've got enough purchases, you know, over like 500 or so, just move to broad targeting. Honestly, you don't need any interests, any lookalike audiences, anything like that. Honestly, just set the age ranges and then the gender and then the country that you'll want to target. And most of the time, these will bring out your best ROAS best ROAS ad sets, honestly. So start using the Chad broad targeting if at scale if you haven't been using it at the moment in time, okay? Of course, one last value bomb for you guys is, of course, generally to protect yourself is have one winning product per ad account is what I generally like to have. You know, have something that's working in one ad account, and then once that's winning and you're scaling that, have another ad account and then test out products on that. Once you find a winner, again, have a different ad account just to protect yourself, because if you've got all of your winning products in one ad account and it goes down, then you're pretty much back to zero. So don't get zooked, okay? So hopefully you got some value from this video. If you did, then make sure, of course, you drop a like on this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and of course, make sure you have the notification bell on as well, so that you stay up to date with all of my latest content. Okay, so if you want to win the physical copy of my new book, then drop a comment down below of why you want to be successful, okay? It can be any reason whatsoever, but just comment down below why you want to be successful. You can enter as many times as you want, as long as the reason why is different, okay? If you comment down below, I'm going to be picking someone at 100% random, and I'm going to actually mail you a copy of this book. I won't sign it because I'm not that famous, but if you want me to, then I will do. But if you want a copy of the book, make sure you comment down below the reason why you want to be successful, and I'll pick someone at total random. Now, if you want to personally learn more from me, then check out my course, Ecom Beast 2.0. You'll learn all of these strategies in depth and more. If you come from YouTube, use the code YouTube100 and you'll get $100 off the price of the course. Hit me up on Instagram, drop me a like, drop me a DM, drop me a comment, and we can try and connect on there. And make sure you join the free Facebook mastermind group. The link for that will be down below as well. But that is it for this video. Again, I hope you got some value. Take care, and I'll see you later.